So I'm gonna talk about these two graphic novels, StrangeLore and Black. First up, StrangeLore by Viktor Kerney, with illustrations by Antonio Brandao and the colorist Terry Blas. I guess I read this one first. This is like my first graphic novel for Black-A-Thon. Technically, this is not my first graphic novel ever, although technically it's like an erotic anthology graphic novel by this artist named Belasco, but that's not what we're here about, okay? What we're here about is StrangeLore by Viktor Kerney. It's a small town story. It's set in a place called Marion, South Carolina. The story is mysterious. It's kind of dark. There's lots of action, lots of pretty and beautiful and sexy characters. It was a fast-paced story. There's beautiful, colorful art and illustrations. And one of the most graphically violent parts of the story I'm flipping to. But it's pretty beautiful, and lots of drama and lots of action and lots of, I don't know, just, it's fantastical and gay and lots of kissing. I will say though about the romance. The romance was nice, but I also kind of felt like it a little bit more tension, a little bit more build up to their first kiss. But I also kind of get that it's a small town, and it's kind of like the first new homosexual to join this town. Like the two homosexuals like meet in this town, and it's kind of like you gonna snatch it up, especially if the two of y'all look good. You're gonna be like, I'm gonna snatch that up like real quick. But I still kind of felt like they could have spent a little bit of time like really getting to know each other a little bit more, spend like more time going out with each other. I don't know, and just kind of building up that tension for like, yo, I'm feeling this person and this person's feeling me. Like we're feeling each other. Like I would kiss him so bad, but it's like, I don't know, is it time? Is he feeling me like that? Or are we just friends? What's going on? And just kind of have a discussion, have a conversation. I don't know, just like to be honest, I felt like a few panels were missing when it came to certain action scenes and a few like of the interactions for the romance where it kind of built that up. But I'm not usually reading comics, and I don't know the comic language or just the way comics are, the medium of comics that well to know that how fast-paced it goes, because that's kind of something I dealt with Black, where I felt like I don't know, I'm still new to comics. I don't know. I enjoyed StrangeLore. I love it, and I get even more now why it's called StrangeLore, because the love interest, he's a part of the StrangeLore of the story, and at the end there's also like a little bit of like lore drop, and I love seeing that. That kind of built up more of the world and more of the fantasy. So I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the characters. I enjoyed the town. I enjoyed the character of Blessing because I thought she was cute. I would love to see more of her. I feel like she's hiding a little bit of story in her background because she came from somewhere else, and she's just like, I came to live here and like a little bit more quiet life. And I'm like, girl, what's your backstory? I want to know what's going on with you. For the most part, I loved the story. It was super colorful. It was super not holding too much back. It went in for the action. It went in for the drama and the intensity, and I appreciated that. So I'm looking forward to future installments of this, and I will definitely be reading more. I am excited about it, and I just love this cover. This cover is like, it's gorgeous. It's like it's adorable. Like, do you see like? I kind of want this. I want a little bit of this, like, do you see those arms? Do you see these arms? I need something like that holding me, you know what I'm saying? Like, I kind of want to be Brandon right now, but eventually, in time, give it time. It's gonna happen, it's coming, you'll see it. I don't know, we'll see, I don't know. On to the next girl. Next I read Black by Kwanza Osajyefo and Tim Smith III, with illustrations by Jamal Igle. So this was another one I was looking forward to reading so bad. I remember when they were doing the Kickstarter for this, and they had Kwanza on, and I think they had Tim Smith the Third on, but I might be wrong. I don't remember. But I know, like, on the For All Nerds podcast, around the time of the Kickstarter, they had the two creators on, and they were talking about the book, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like, this sounds like pretty cool. I want to read this book. And now I have the hardcover of it, and I'm just glad to, like, see that they have brought this to life, and it's, like, alive, and I got to read it. Like, this was fun. It was a fun read. Like, both of these reads were fun. This was interesting because it does kind of tackle that very of racism and all that in like America. At the same time, it's very superhero, very X-Men. And that was something that I've heard, I haven't heard, but I read people's comments and criticisms, like their reviews of it. And they were like, it's just like a black knockoff X-Men. And I'm just kind of like, I mean, I guess, yeah, but at the same time, it's like, it's not just that. It's deep. It's because at the end of the day, X-Men is an analogy for discrimination in America, or just like discrimination against marginalized communities. And this is kind of like doing that, where it really centers and specifies the marginalized community that is being targeted. It had a lot of action, lots and lots of action. Sometimes so much action, I was like, I am trying to follow some of this action. There's just so much coming at me, and I'm like, am I seeing this correctly? I had to, like, a few times I had to, like, go into the book, and there's, like, a bit of action going on in one window panel, and I'm just like, what? Like, what's going on over there? But it's just a lot of action, a lot of characters, I'll say that. It's got a lot of characters. Definitely lead Kareem stands out. His mentor Juncture stands out. I think Detective Waters is her name. Yeah, Detective Waters stands out. The character of Busy Base and Beretta stood out for me because Beretta reminds me of like a Jackie Brown, Foxy Cleopatra. Well, Foxy Cleopatra, or is it like Foxy Brown? Like a Jackie Brown, Foxy Brown type of character, like very 70s blaxploitation, where she just got her guns and her like cussing and all that stuff. And I was just like, okay, I like Beretta. Beretta's a cool girl. She's cool. She wild. She wildin'. Like, she out here, like, she's just pulling out her guns, just keep making bullets and just, like, popping off. The illustrations really captured a lot of characters' expressions and movements so well that I was just kind of like I can see the inspiration of actual people that it came from. Like, you can just, it's not uncanny valley, it's just more, I can see where the person that you are channeling through what you drew. Like, I've seen people like them in real life, and it's great to like see them in this story and see them doing cool badass things, like setting on fire and sending out sonic waves and extending your hair, or tangling people up, or like being a skinny kid and then all of a sudden you're like buffed up and, you know, throwing stuff around and throwing people around. Like, it had a few moments where I was laughing at stuff. Like, I laughed at Juncture's power, because I'm like, I know they did that on purpose, because I'm like, I don't get how. And even with the amplifier thing, I was just like, I don't get how Juncture's powers are like super, because I sense that he's kind of like if we're gonna do the X-Men comparison, I get that he's kind of the Professor X of the story, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, his power is just like not as significant as it could have been. Like, so I had to laugh when they announced what his powers were. I was just like, oh my god. They had moments where I was just laughing at people's like the things that they said and they did. And what kind of got me to was Kareem is like, no, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna kick this villain's ass. We could do something different. We could do better. And I was just like, shut up, get out of my face. I'm like, I like what the other guy is saying. The other guy is saying like we need to get this dude out the paint, get him out the paint. Like we can't be like dilly dallying and talk about like there's a better way to do things. Like no, girl. Here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna kick the sucker's ass and like get him out the paint. Like he does not need to be here. He's contaminating what we're trying to do here. We're trying to build something and he's trying to destroy us. Like, are you kidding? No, 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 no. Are you about to kick ass on that? And if you're not, then you need to like I'm with the other guy, like you need to sit over there, go back to what you was doing and not be bothering him. I don't know, I'm just looking forward to seeing where the rest of the story goes. I'm looking forward to seeing more of this world. It would be interesting to see what the rest of this world is built up on. It is in black and white. I will say I do love being that this was done as a comic book, like with individual comic book issues. I love that they put like the comic book issue covers in to kind of divide like the different chapters. The comic book covers are really great ways to capture the essence of the story. They're like beautiful pieces of artwork that you could see putting up on your wall and framing it because it's just beautifully done. I enjoyed both stories. I do feel with both, it felt like panels were missing, so it kind of like certain, and I get fast paced. It was just super fast paced, but then again, I probably am not a huge comic book head. I haven't really done too much graphic novels and comic books, except for that one erotic like graphic novel that was like super entertaining, but still. I still enjoyed a lot of the fast-paced moments, a lot of the action, a lot of the storytelling. It was a great stories to read and great worlds to get immersed in. And I definitely want to read more from these stories, and I will definitely be reading more graphic novels. So bye-bye from the two, from, I don't know, all three of us or whatever, but like bye or whatever. Okay.